So today I want us to discuss AI and ChatGPT. You know, to most people, when we mention AI, the only thing that comes to mind is ChatGPT. But the thing is that AI is actually much, much bigger than ChatGPT. And so I hope in this discussion you can get some more understanding of AI in general and what actually ChatGPT is. And so let's get started. What is artificial intelligence or AI? Um, AI is basically the science of making computers or machines behave in ways that are smart. Computers doing things that naturally or traditionally humans can do is what is actually called artificial intelligence. Today, we really have a lot of AI around us. If you use the iPhone and you have Siri and you talk to Siri and Siri can hear you and take actions, that is AI. If you have Alexa at home and you are able to ask Alexa questions and Alexa answers you, that is AI. If you think about self-driving cars, that can actually move by themselves, look at road signs, look at stop signs, and observe all of them. That is an AI system. And so AI systems are much, much bigger than just ChatGPT, right? So at the very top, you have AI as the system. The subset of AI that is even most popular is what is called machine learning. So what is machine learning? Um, Machine learning is actually a subset of AI that is focused on training computers or algorithms to learn by themselves by showing them more examples. A good example would be, showing pictures of cats and dogs to the algorithm or to computers and showing them more and more examples. And over time, the computers are able to differentiate between what is a dog and what is a cat. And actually, under machine learning, there are different types. There is a type that is called supervised learning, and these are situations where we show the computer or the algorithm some data with labels, right? For example, the cat and dog example, you show the computer a picture of the dog, you say this is a dog. You show them a picture of a cat, you say this is a cat. So that is label data. So you show them all of this information, and over time, they are able to learn from it. So that is called supervised learning. There's another type of machine learning called unsupervised learning, where you actually just give computer the data and then the computer learns from the data by itself and determine patterns within the data by itself and without being provided label data. Each of these have actually different applications. Okay, there's a third type of machine learning called reinforcement learning. In this type of learning, you actually expose the algorithm or the computer to an environment where it actually learns by doing mistakes, and whenever it does mistake, you punish the system, and when it does well, you actually reward, and then you actually try to maximize the cumulative reward over time. And again, we don't have to go into those details, but that's what is called reinforcement learning. What are some of the examples of machine learning around us? We have several of them. In fact, if you buy at Amazon and you actually, buy based on their product recommendation, you are actually using machine learning already. Because Amazon looks at your purchase history and people who looks like you, their purchase history, and use that to actually make product recommendations to you. That is actually an example of machine learning. Another example is Netflix movie. If you actually watch movies on Netflix, Netflix actually gives you some movie recommendation based on movies that you've watched in the past, right? That's also an example of machine learning. So there are several examples of them, and again, the discussion here is just to provide you the link between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all the way down to ChatGPT. And so far, we've discussed artificial intelligence as the broader topic, and a subset of it is machine learning. Okay. The other subset that falls under machine learning, or the next set after machine learning, is what I will say is neural networks, or more appropriately, artificial neural network. So what is artificial neural network? It's actually a class of machine learning algorithm that is actually inspired by how the human brain works. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail of that, but what it does is, the algorithm receives input, and then there are what we call hidden layers that are actually inspired by how the human brain works, and then there's an output layer, and finally the prediction comes out. Basically, is one of the important algorithm that has helped transform how machine learning works. So from artificial intelligence, you go to machine learning, and then you go to neural network. Okay, from neural network, I will say you go next to deep learning. So what is deep learning? Deep learning is really just a complex or a more complicated form of neural networks. And usually when people talk about deep learning, they are talking about deep learning neural network, or they are talking about deep artificial neural network. And what that is basically a class of machine learning algorithm that takes an input and does a lot of complex processing and modeling and analytics and algorithm tuning, all of it within what we call hidden layers. So it has multiple hidden layers, and again, these are just functions and transformations and learnings, and then it gives you an output. And deep learning has a lot of great applications around us. So, I mentioned self-driving cars. In my AI example, imagine that a car is driving by itself. How will the car recognize road signs, or even if pedestrians are crossing the road? Some of the algorithms that power that are based on actually deep learning. Okay, so deep learning is very powerful. So from AI, you go to machine learning, and then you go to artificial neural networks, and then you go to deep learning. Okay. Then the subset of deep learning that is very popular nowadays is generative AI. So what is generative AI? So generative AI is the branch of AI that focuses on creating new content. This content can be text, can be movie, or audio or video. They basically generate new content based on a content that's already been provided to the system. So all the other methods I've described at first, they are focused on recognizing or predicting or analyzing, the data that is given to it. But generative AI is different because it actually produces new content. In fact, this is what is revolutionizing a lot of the things we see today. And so, to say it simply, generative AI is the subset of deep learning that is focused on generating new content, based on data that is being provided to it. There's a lot of examples of generative AI that we see today. I don't know if you guys know about Midjourney. That is an image generating, application. You can just prompt it, that is, say some word or describe what you want, and it will generate you some image. There is also DALL-E, developed by OpenAI, that you can actually use to generate images. And these things have a lot of applications. For example, in content creation, in marketing, you can use this generative AI. Automated product tagging, you can use this generative AI to do many different things. Okay, so from artificial intelligence, you go to machine learning, and then you go to artificial neural networks, Then you come to deep learning, and then you go to generative AI. Okay. So after you've gone through generative AI in that kind of subset or sequence of subsets, you then go to, a class of model called large language models. So what are large language models? Large language models basically AI system that are focused on using or doing natural language processing on vast amount of test data. Okay. And in fact, some of them are so big that they have parameters in millions and billions. So that's why the name large language model comes in. Right now I'm saying this so that I can create a link between large language models and ChatGPT. Okay, so basically, large language models are also a subset of, generative AI, essentially, that are focused on, just generating languages, test data. Okay, and so this leads to ChatGPT. So GPT is actually, the GP and the T there is, generative pre-trained transformers. I'm not going to go into the details there, but ChatGPT is actually just a product based on the GPT model, okay? And that is actually focused on processing tests, understanding tests, conversations. We all now know ChatGPT, so I'm not going to describe ChatGPT, but I think the key here is that, ChatGPT is not the only AI. In fact, AI is so broad, and ChatGPT is just a very small component of it. So you see, at a very broad level, you have AI. AI can be used to do different sets of things. And then you have a subset of AI called machine learning, okay? That is really focused on, letting machines learn by themselves by not being explicitly programmed. They just learn by, having more examples, learning from multiple data sources, multiple examples, and then over time they get better. And then you go to neural network, which is also a subset of machine learning, okay? And then from neural network, you go to the deep learning, which I talked about. And then from deep learning, you go to generative AI, okay? Within generative AI, you have things like the large language models. And then from there, you go to ChatGPT. So you can see that ChatGPT is really a very small component of the AI story. And so please keep in mind, whenever we are talking about AI, we are not only talking about ChatGPT. We have things like, self-driving cars. We have things like Siri. We have things like Alexa. We have things like movie recommendation systems. We have things like Amazon's product recommendations. In fact, we have systems that even analyze medical images to detect cancer cells. All of these are using AI, and ChatGPT is not, the only AI out there. So I hope this is helpful. Like I said, this is not a technical video. This is really meant to just let everyone understand that ChatGPT is just a small component of all AI that exists. Thank you. And if this video was useful to you, then I encourage you to follow us, on YouTube, and we will be actually coming up with more content to help people really understand data, AI, all the strategies, so we can actually translate things from research to actually do things in practice and bring more value to everything that we do, whether it's in work, whether it's in government, anything like that. So once again, thank you, and we will catch up later. Bye bye.